cool cats and kittens. So just a quick update. I just wanted to put this in. It might run on for ages. A lot of them have been. I haven't been updating for a while because I'm having issues with my video editors. If I'm looking at my phone, it's because I'm actually having to airdrop things over. So I just want to check that's still going. Like clips and stuff, because I use Splice on my phone. My phone, it's only 64 gigabytes. So I will edit like clips down, and I can't then save them to upload them because they're too big file size, because they may be 15 minutes long. So I've been looking into trying to do it on my Mac. I've been trying for the last 3 days, and because all my stuff is saved to the iCloud, it basically, for some reason, I would go into iMovie and I can't access it. So I'm filming this off my webcam. It's not ideal. It'll work for the minute. Kevin has my SLR, so hopefully I'll be getting that back off him soon. I know we're in lockdown. There's ways around it. With my SLR, what it means is because the clips aren't saved to my phone and then to iCloud, I can literally just copy them over with no issues. But I haven't been able to access, even if I go into my photos on my Mac, all the videos I have, some of them will play, some of them won't. It's actually been really annoying me because I've videos of when I was in New Zealand that won't play on my iMac. Which is pretty annoying because that was a trip of a lifetime and I've wanted to do something with those clips for a while, which I can't do. So if you hear me beeping, it's because that's AirDrop sending clips over. I'm trying to keep this as short as I can. So hopefully once I get my SLR, I'll be able to have better quality. I have a tripod coming as well. I am still going to use my phone because for writing videos, it is a bit easier, but I'm just going to have them edited a lot more, and like shorter clips of me writing and trying to paste them together and stuff like that. Sorry, my voice gone weird, which I can do. And also apologies that I keep touching my hair. It's really annoying me at the minute. It's nice and soft because it was washed, but it's like it won't sit in any, believably nice way. So yeah, that's basically what's happening, and until I can get things sorted, I won't necessarily be able to have like good quality kind of videos. I might have to redo my intro. It depends if that'll let me send it over. I've also been messing around with After Effects, so I might have a pretty cool new intro soon. But anyway, hope you're all keeping safe, and thank you so much for being subscribed, for watching, and all the rest of it, and hopefully I'll have something sorted very soon. As I've had Tina for nearly a year, I thought today I'd be talking about the experience of buying her. So obviously I have two horses. I have Barney and I have Tina, and the experience of buying Barney was completely different to buying Tina. And I'm going to explain and compare why and how. And also going to show you the other horses I tried, why I did and didn't choose them, and my reasons for wanting Tina and buying Tina. So basically, when I bought Barney, I was 14, so it was nearly 10 years ago. He was actually at the old riding school I used to ride at, and I'd had a little bit of a rough time with having a couple of falls, just not really getting on with the horses I was riding. And my old yard owner, who she owned the riding school, I think I had an asthma attack, or came really close to having an asthma attack when I was riding. She said to me, I was sat in the tack room kind of just getting my breath back, and she said to me, is there any horse you like riding? And I said, well, quite like Barney. And she said, okay, I'm actually, thinking of selling him because he's just not really suited to the riding school. And we got talking, and she said, if speak to your mom, speak to your dad, see what they say, and if you like him, you have first refusal. So my parents are divorced. My mom said, yeah, if your dad agrees to pay for him. My dad took a bit more convincing, but it all happened pretty quickly in the end. And Barney was vetted. He passed his vetting, and I got Barney. So I didn't go out looking for him. He kind of just fell into my lap, I guess you could say. But it did make the whole process of buying Tina completely differently, because I'd never done the whole going out looking for ads, viewing horses, all that stuff myself. So what happened was I spoke to my mom, and I came to this decision that actually it was time to get my next horse. And rather than me replying to ads, I put an ad up saying I'm after MARE gelding, chunkier 14 to about 16 hands, between sort of 5 and 12 years old, capable of jumping a quarter of a metre, to bring a rider up to kind of confidently jumping a metre and slightly bigger, do a bit of eventing, bit of riding club, that kind of stuff. And I got a few replies. I saw 4 horses, I think it was. And there was one I didn't see, but I do regret that to this day. I'm not seeing her, but it just didn't work out. And as well as that, is it like a 5-hour road trip going to try horses. Tina was actually the first horse I tried, and when I tried her, when I saw her ad, actually, I wasn't sure she was quite what I was looking for, because she was half warm blood and from quite good breeding, and I was sort of like, she might be a bit much, she might be a bit more than what I'm looking for. But anyway, I went to go and try her, and she was the first horse I tried, and when I sat in her, I felt really, really safe, which was the biggest thing for me. So I tried her twice. I tried her at her owner's house, but she didn't have an arena because she'd only really been hacking her. So because she didn't have an arena, what we did was I just gave her a walk and a trot, and then we said, okay, I'll come back and try her again in an arena, give her a canter, give her a jump. And then it was either the next day or the day after, I went with a friend of mine to go and try 3 other horses. I tried a grey gelding, a chestnut mare, and a blue and white gelding. And they were all very different for their own reasons, and they all had their good points and their bad points. But it was when I went and tried Tina a second time, I sort of went, yeah, this is my horse. So I'm going to share some of the videos of the other horses I tried and give a little bit of information about them and why I didn't take them, and also videos of when I tried Tina and what I liked about her. And yeah, so enjoy. So this is the first time I tried Tina, and I found her really comfortable, and I really, really liked her from the first time I sat on her, which was a good sign. I have my husband likes practicing her viola in the background, but after I tried Tina the first time, we arranged to go and try her a second time, where I could give her a jump and a canter, and that was fine. And then I went to see the other horses. Now, I actually did see another horse. The advert made it sound like it was young, kind of a project, but it was broken, and it being brought on and done a little bit of jumping and stuff, and it was an Irish draft, so I kind of thought, you know what, I'll go and have a look, see what it's like. But when I got there, it wasn't as described at all. I think it had been broken and then left off for a year or so, and just I knew it wasn't for me. But the owners were really, really nice, really understanding, and I said, the advert kind of made it sound like it had done a bit more. It was at a bit of a different point. They were really helpful, really, really lovely lady. It was just somebody else was advertising it for them, and they just didn't quite match up. So the next horse I then tried was in Laois. It was a little grey gelding. Now, he didn't have a name. I did really, really like him. I remember when we drove in and I saw him and I was like, oh my gosh, he's beautiful. He was a bit of a project and just, I think, a little bit too green and sort of unknown for what I was looking for. And especially at this point, I kind of was comparing everything to Tina because of how much I'd liked her. So I share a few clips of him. He was lovely, and I hope he's found a really nice home, because for the right person, I think he'd be an absolutely fantastic horse. So this is the little grey horse that I tried. He was absolutely lovely, but quite nervous, and he didn't actually have a name.
Yeah, it was actually really nice.
Now, I did really like him, and I thought he was absolutely beautiful to look at, but I just wasn't sure if he was quite right for me. He did have a little bit of a spook when we were cantering in the field, and I just didn't feel 100% confident on him. I also did question his soundness, but it is quite hard to tell because the ground in the little sort of arena-y paddock was really, really bad and really deep, so he was struggling a bit. But in the field, I also wasn't completely 100% sure, and I didn't feel confident enough to try jumping him. And as I was after a horse to jump, being able to jump them and feel confident enough to sit on the horse and to give them a jump was a big thing. and me and the friend that came with me to kind of give me her opinion sort of had a similar feeling that he was nice, but just a bit more of a project and not quite what I was really looking for. So I hope he did find a good home, because he's an absolutely beautiful horse and really, really lovely, sweet natured. Just a little bit more of a project than what I was looking for. Next horse, me and my friend travelled to Waterford, which I don't think either of us had ever been to before. So we went to try a chestnut mare who was beautiful, beautiful natured, beautiful looking, really, really lovely, and I really hope she found a wonderful home, because this mare, it got very, very close between this mare and Tina. My friend absolutely loved her, and the seller was very informative. However, there was a few questions that when I sent them on to other friends of mine who are vet students, they sort of raised about her, which kind of helped me with my decision. Even though Tina does have her own issues, her issues are very minor, and I know what causes, well, I know what they are, and they really don't bother her at all. So this is the next horse I saw, who was a chestnut mare called Ruby. So this is Ruby. She was the horse I tried in Waterford, and I did really, really like her. So this is when I first got on her, and her owner did say you might hear her to use a stick with her just to get her going a bit more forward, as I was finding her hard to get forward. Now it's this next clip that when I sent to my vet, well, they're nearly qualified vets, to my vet friends, they had a few concerns because they said she seemed off behind, especially on the circle, which it did raise a bit of a red flag for me, because I was told she had clean x-rays and she was sound. And the other thing was, one of my friends didn't like how she chipped in on this fence, so it did make it sort of a bit more of an easier decision between them. Finally, the last horse I tried on this day was a little blue and white coloured gelding. He was 14.2, and had he have been 15 hands, had he have been a little bit chunkier, I possibly would have taken him then and there. He was so, so lovely, incredibly, incredibly sweet, really well schooled, really nice jump, really, really honest. I think he was only 6, and he was one I'd actually seen his ad the day before, and it had been a thing of, he looks cool, I'll go and give him a go, what's the worst that can happen? And I don't regret it at all. I really, really hope he has a lovely, lovely home, because this pony really deserved it. And like I said, had he been a little bit bigger, I think I would have been sold. So this is Comet, and he really just speaks volumes. He's so lovely and such a lovely way of going, and I just wish he'd either been a bit chunkier or a bit bigger. I know had I have got him at the weight I am at the minute, I probably would be a little bit big on him. So whilst it's a shame he wasn't quite right, it's also probably for the better. And it was just a thing of, had he been a bit bigger, and the lady selling him was in a similar boat, if it was a bit bigger, she probably would be keeping him. So this is Comet, the pony I tried. I don't look huge on him, but I know I would probably have just felt a bit more uncomfortable, especially now. Things might have changed. That saddle also doesn't fit me, but he was a lovely, lovely pony. I know I'm not overly tall, so I can ride chunkier 14.2s and very chunky 14 hands, because they can take up my leg. I'm only 5'4". He actually wasn't that much smaller than Barney, he just was a bit narrower, but I had so much fun riding him. He looked after me a good bit as well when it came to jumping, because I was putting him in all sorts of weird angles and, not bringing him in the best canter. So I was really, really grateful to get to even just try him, because he was so much fun and so good, and in so many ways he just reminded me of Barney, but not as cheeky and as naughty. So it was really nice to get to ride him and to enjoy him. when I did, and I hope he's got a lovely home and he gets lots and lots of love from whoever it is owns him, because he really deserved it and he's a real sweetheart. And as you can see, genuine, and you really couldn't fault him other than he was a little bit too small for me, which was so unfortunate. Finally, I went to try Tina again, and I got to see her hacking on the roads and trotting on the road as we were going to the arena to try her in, and she looked incredibly sound. Didn't notice her string hole at all. Took her into the arena. Her old owner gave her a jump first, and she looked incredible. And then I got on her and gave her walk, trot, canter, and a bit of a jump. And it was then and there I knew this is my horse. And I said, I think I didn't even get off her. And I said, what sort of deposit do you want for her? And then it was just a thing of getting her vetted. So I'll share the clips of the second time I tried her and then talk about the vetting process and everything else up to her arrival, which was incredibly exciting for me because this was my second horse. And yeah, it was, I remember the day she arrived, I think I raced down in my car to see her as quickly as I could.
The stirrups are a wee bit long, but do you want me to shorten them? I can wrap them for you if it's any.
After I knew I was definitely taking her, the next step was vetting, which happened, I think, within the next week. And she passed her vetting. Now, obviously, the fact she's mild string halt was noted and a little bit of tenderness in her back. She had only really been hacking, so she didn't have very much muscle. And we're still working on building that up with her at the minute. But I think there was about a week between me getting her vetted and her arriving, just because I had to sort a few things out. I had to go home to Belfast for a couple of days, and then she was picked up and delivered the same day I got back. She came to her new stables the night before, and then I got back the next day, and I didn't even go home. I went straight to go and see her and see how she was settling in, and she looked like she had no idea where she was, because she didn't. So I didn't ride her the first day. I think I rode her on a really nice quiet morning on it must have been her third day of being there, just to see how she was settling and getting on, and it was really nice. I had my own horse again that I could ride and take out, and I didn't do a lot with her. I just walked and trotted her just to kind of let her see what the indoor was like, because she'd not really been in a lot of work either. And yeah, I just had my own horse again. And I did have a few doubts about her to begin with, and I really don't regret buying her at all at this point. She's really, really changed my riding and me as a rider and a lot of things about me. And she's so sweet and she's so good. And I really couldn't ask for more. So this was her, I think, my third time ever riding her in the indoor arena. She's not perfect. She was a bit tense and her saddle didn't fit, because at this point I was just using an old saddle, because her previous owner had said she's narrow medium, but a medium might fit her. So all I had was a medium. It didn't fit her, but I got it changed as quickly as I could. The one that she then got didn't fit her, but she's got something that fits her now, so that's all that's important. So yeah, this is our third ride together.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, I was just gonna say. Ask your first circle.
See what I mean? She's better this race because I hold
Yeah.
my outside hand better. And she's not falling out.
Good girl. Try her in a smaller circle down here.
No, she's not quite fit enough for that.
That's better.
I'm also skilled in the jump saddle, which
That's already looking better though.
she's just a wee bit stiffer this race.
Bring over the ground pole again.
See, I have more videos of Tina and how she's come on in the last year. They're for another video. My final sort of closing bits of advice for buying a horse is bring someone who knows you and knows what you're looking for with you. I brought 2 friends of mine who both know me. They know me as a rider and they knew what I was looking for. I also knew the type of horse I was looking for, what I wanted to do with it. And that played a big part in me choosing the horse because I did have experience behind me to kind of know what I was after. I was getting advice from instructors, and so that kind of helped me as well. If you're not sure, if you have any doubts about trying horses, bring someone, bring an instructor, bring yard manager, someone knowledgeable with you, a really knowledgeable friend, because you need someone who'll give you an honest opinion as well. There's no point bringing someone who's going to look at a horse and go, oh, that's pretty, I think you should get that one. Or, you know, who can tell the horse maybe isn't right for you, but knows you like it and won't just say, are you sure this is the right one? It's really important to get those kind of opinions. Vettings as well, they are important, but you do have to remember a vetting is only for the day you try the horse. You could try it, get it vetted, and it is completely sound, and then a week later it has to be retired because it's gone lame. You could have a horse that fails a vetting, but a week later it's completely sound and it passes. The vettings do, however, if you get a 5-stage, they take blood. So if you have an issue with the horse that, say, it's been treated with a steroid that you weren't told about, or been put in painkillers or sedated, you do have comeback against that, because with the vetting they can prove it was in the bloods and you can prove you weren't told. Be careful when you're trying horses. If you don't want to get on a horse or ride a horse, or the owner won't ride the horse first, it's a bit of a red flag. If there's a genuine reason the owner can't ride the horse first, say, I don't know, they're pregnant or something along those lines, that's slightly different, but do be wary. I did get on Tina without seeing anyone ride her first, and I did get on the little grey one. However, there was people there who did say they could ride them first. I thought, no, it's fine, sure, just give me a leg up. Which is more my fault than anything else. And then finally, try as many horses as you can and just go by feel. When you find the horse that you're looking for, you'll know it's right. You won't have that moment where you sit and you go, no, I like this, I don't know. You'll know by feel, at least. I did with Tina. Barney was a bit different, but it was a different situation. And I just felt safe on her. And the one thing with riding her is every time I sit in her, I do feel safe. And that's been the biggest thing for me. So, any other advice to buying a horse? Ask around, ask people you know. You'll often find someone knows of someone who has something really nice, or you'll find someone you knew years ago suddenly has something for sale. Obviously don't settle on the first horse unless it is the right horse, like it was for me. And enjoy yourself. Don't feel like you have to rush into something. Don't feel like you have to. Don't let a seller feel like they're pushing you. And finally, and I do mean this, is I don't know what I know US and Canada, it's different with papers and passports and things like that. I'm not sure what it's like for, say, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, but for Ireland, we have to have passports for transporting. Not everyone has a passport. I would be a bit wary of anyone who's selling a horse without a passport. So make sure they have passports. This is Barney's passport. His pretty plain and boring. His isn't original, but he has one. He's also old, so it's slightly different. And then this is Tina's. She has hers. Any seller should have a passport they can show you. Make sure the passport matches the horse, because it's otherwise expensive to get them reissued. If they don't have a passport, you are meant to have them for travelling them. And I'd be a bit wary if you're getting, say, a 10-year-old with no passport. It might not add up. And passports are a really good way as well to check that you're definitely getting the horse, because you can sometimes tell when they've been altered. And if they have a show name, you can Google it and see what comes up. I know I Googled Tina's and got her record. Everyone else, I'm not sure. Alright, so thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and hopefully the next video will be just as exciting, if not a bit more, because I know this is a lot of talking and did get a bit boring. And best of luck to everyone currently searching for a horse.